Do you guys like Vivek Ramaswamy?
No.
Oh, you don't either? Okay, I thought I was going to get ripped apart for this. Damn.
Rebecca is just here to be like this cynical. She's thinking she's everybody's enemy today. You've been in a hostile environment.
I was the first one to point out that I don't think that he's authentic. Speaking about the Department of Authenticity.
Yes, and as the head of the Department of Authenticity, Styx is the expert. So for those of you who have been wondering what Vivek Ramaswamy is up to, obviously there were some reports that he and DOGE had separated. The White House press secretary had said, I think he's going to run for governor. And he has officially filed the paperwork to enter the Ohio governor's race. So there was some talk of if DeWine, the current Republican governor, would tap him to take over J.D. Vance's Senate position. He obviously did not. Ohio's had Republican governors for quite a long stretch here, so the Republican primary is expected to be pretty contentious. DeWine, from what I understand, is term limited, so he can't run again. Ramaswamy, who is a Cincinnati native, according to the New York Post, is obviously this background. He talked a lot about his ties to Ohio, but a lot of people don't feel connected to him. A lot of people, despite his charisma on a lot of interviews, feel like he's a little inauthentic. And since I pulled this tweet from Andrew Torba.
We're all laughing at that one.
Yeah.
The head of Gav said the image rehabilitation campaign just isn't sticking. And this is Vivek at the Daytona 500. He went to the Super Bowl. He's tried to stay as close to the Trump administration as possible. What do you guys think? What is Vivek Ramaswamy's future?
Okay. I'm in the Ann Coulter camp with Vivek Ramaswamy. But what I have to say about him is that people are not finding him relatable because he's a Brahmin that is worth $500 million from pumping and dumping stocks, his own stocks. He knew that this drug that he was creating was not effective. It had failed in multiple large clinical trials. And, he's representative of these ill-gotten gains. And I think people can see him and be like, you have nothing in common with average Americans. And that's why he's reading as inauthentic. He says the right stuff, and it makes a lot of people on the right want to stand up and cheer. I understand that. I agree with a lot of stuff that he says, but you always have to look at what these people do. And at the end of the day, he's a multi-million, I think he's worth $500 million. He's a nearly billionaire status politician. He's a politician. And he doesn't represent.
He's a politician having never been elected to office.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that works against him.
Totally. Yeah. Why do you think he's inauthentic, Styx?
I think he's always struck me as weird. He's just always struck me as there's something off there. You can't quite quantify it, but you can quantify the fact that it's there.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like when you have a weird flavor in your water and you're like, I don't know exactly what this is, but I know that there's something else in here.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't drink it.
Like
that's
Florida water.
Yes, that's Vivek Ramaswamy in a nutshell.
Yeah, he's got like a shifty bastard vibe that I find unsavory.
It's like there's something off about this person. I don't know what it is, but maybe they're going to drag me out into the alley and slit my throat or something like that. That's the vibe that he gets me. There's a reason he was kicked out of DOGE.
Yeah. When he was doing all of his interviews, when he was campaigning for president, I remember people would be like, he says the right thing or he uses the right jargon, but it seems inauthentic. It seems imperfect. Right. It seems like there must be someone on his staff who knows what the internet is talking about and is feeding him the talking points.
Also, I hate that they're trying to frame this getting kicked out of DOGE thing as but he was just working towards this gubernatorial campaign. Like Styx is right. There's a reason he was kicked out of DOGE, and it's not this.
Yeah.
I always wondered how involved in DOGE he really was. I mean,
probably not that much.
It clearly seems like it's always been Elon Musk's baby. Go ahead, Styx.
I think that Elon Musk got the creeps from him, honestly. And I mean, some of us have been pointing that out for many, many months. Vivek Ramaswamy, there's just something off about him. And you can't quantify it, but you can quantify the offness.
Do you think that people will vote for him? Do you think that there are enough people in Ohio who think he's worth having around?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know what his campaign would be. Like when he was running for president, he was like, "I'm like Trump. I'm an outsider. I made my money in business. I'm anti woke. Elect me." But in Ohio, it seems like, are you going to argue the same thing when Ohio's a red state?
It depends
Well,
on how racist people are. That's really what this is about.
he's gonna have to actually have a platform. Otherwise, he's gonna Kamala Harris his own campaign.
Mm-hmm.
That's like against DeWine. It's like, okay, maybe it's an improvement, but it's not a major improvement, honestly.
You're getting these reports from the mainstream media here. I'm going to show you this one from The Hill. Ramaswamy poised to shake up Ohio governor race, and this was seated. This was on February 3rd, so it's about 2 weeks before he actually announced. And it's saying, when Vivek Ramaswamy formally launches his expected bid to succeed Ohio Governor Mike DeWine, the biotech entrepreneur and former presidential candidate appears on track to become the favorite for the Buckeye State's new governor, for the Buckeye State's governor mansion. They're saying he's got national name recognition, he's got a firebrand, whatever. And then they have an unnamed Republican strategist saying he'll need to do the work to get around. But listen, if he gets the Trump-Vance endorsement, I think it'll be very tough. I think it's over. Do Trump and Vance like Ramaswamy enough to endorse him?
I don't know. Probably not after this DOGE fiasco. Something's going on there. I don't know what it is, but I would imagine. And if you remember earlier, Vivek and Trump were not really getting along in the, what year was this, Styx? They had some discord before Trump's, like, the major parts of his second campaign. So I don't know. I think
I don't remember the year.
My general attitude is they probably don't get along on an interpersonal level. I don't know.
I think that Trump and Vance might back him simply because he's a Republican, and he did endorse and stuff like that. So he might get a tacit endorsement. Mm-hmm. I would expect basically a mild endorsement, a qualified endorsement. So basically, hey, yeah, we're going to support this guy, but we've got some misgivings about it. And Trump has done this before. Basically, hand in velvet glove mode.
Right.
I remember when J.D. Vance got the nominee, people realized that J.D. Vance, his wife, and Ramaswamy had all been at Yale Law School together at the same time. And they were like, were you guys friends? And J.D. Vance said something that was like, well, I knew, like, I knew of him. But it doesn't seem like they're longtime buddies, which is probably good. But it also seems like there's not when he was talking about it, I remember thinking, like, there's not a particular warmth there. It's almost like a distancing.
Yeah.
And I forgot about that tweet that went super viral from Vivek. Sam Hyde did an excellent segment on this, where Vivek's like, we need more math clubs and fewer sleepovers and stuff like that. And I think that really pissed people off, because it showed that he does not understand American culture and having fun as a child and as a teenager. And then it's all about work ethic to achieve some higher economic status. And that's not really how Americans think. Like, we value individualism and ambition and career success that you've achieved, but not totally at the cost of, like, having a childhood or anything like that. And so people were looking at that and they were like, ew, this is grossing me out.
Well, Ramaswamy's going to have to dig himself out of the hole from the H-1B visa debate. I mean, he was like very gung-ho. H-1B visas are good. Americans are lazy. And I don't know how he's going to then, go to town halls in Ohio or go to the county fair or whatever and be like, I still stand by that, but also vote for me.
Yeah, Americans can't do the work, so we need to import, tens of millions of people to do it for us. Well, why do you have an R after your name? That sounds like a relatively democratic platform.
Yeah, it does. Is there any way for him to win political office that would meet his interests? And what I'm referring to there is, so he came on Timcast, and I asked him, would you take a different position if Trump offered you a cabinet position? He said no, that he has a dominant personality. I thought this was I thought this was pretty self-aware. He says he has a dominant personality. Trump has a dominant personality, and he couldn't really be a part of something that he wasn't at the head of, which is also why I thought, obviously
you're exactly correct. And that's exactly why he was cast down from the heavens to the ground. He's not going to be able to work with Donald Trump. There's no way that their personalities wouldn't clash. I'm surprised that Trump can get along with Elon Musk. I think he's mostly doing it out of necessity more than anything else. But Elon Musk is more of the nerd. He's off playing with his toys. And so Trump doesn't have to worry about him competing as much. Vivek Ramaswamy wants to be president of the United States.
And I think Elon is like the numbers guy that Trump would be like, well, look, Elon is saying that we're wasting money. Like in some ways, I'm not saying he's a scapegoat, but there is some sort of like a good cop, bad cop going on there.
Right.
It allows Trump to sort of have someone who will say stuff that he's like, typically there would be advisors behind the scenes and Trump would have to answer all the questions. Elon is just volunteering to be at the front and be the guy who's saying the stuff that people don't want to hear, or some people do want to hear it. I think Ramaswamy always needed to be tested at the state level before he could seek national office. Even though he's got the money and he launched himself on the national stage, if the people of Ohio won't support him, then there's no future there.